Hey coders, Miss Seward here to give you some tips for Obvibase because the directions may be a little bit confusing. So I wanted to show you a few things. This is a chance where, or an activity where having your screen split will really help you. So when you're on a Chromebook, it's really easy. You just hold down the Alt key. So you have to kind of separate your windows, and then you click on the one that you want on the left, hold down Alt and left bracket, and then click on the one you want on the right, hold down Alt and right bracket. I have a video for that in Miss Seward Helps with Unit 2 in case you need to see how that's done, but that's how I have them side by side. So for following these kind of step-by-step coding activities, I really recommend you do that. And Buzz will kind of shrink the directions to fit here. So I've got the Buzz activity here and my Obvibase database over here. So you're going to be introduced in lesson 3 of unit 2 on how to use that. Make sure you don't skip this because this is going to show you how to do all the things that you need to do with Obvibase. So when you're going, gee, I don't know how to filter, I don't know how to add columns, that's because you need to go back and review lesson 3 on unit 2. That's where you learn about how to use it. For the actual activity that you're going to turn in, right, you're going to be following along these directions. There's lots of steps and lots of pieces. That's why I've given you lots of time to work on this, right? That's got the link to it there. Word processing software is just Google Docs, Microsoft Word, things like that. You definitely you need to build this in a document somewhere else and not just shove these into a Buzz submission box if you can, please, because that makes them very tiny. Okay, so, right, part 1, create a database, enter the data. It doesn't give you a lot of like how to, so you really have to read it. Create a database using Obvibase that stores the following data about books sorted by page length. So I know that I need to include, and it really squished the directions for me. Instead of being a long chart like I usually see it, it's all here. So I need to include a column for each of these, right? So I'm going to, and be careful with Obvibase, this big plus sign and these 3 dots do different things than um, the smaller ones on the end. So that was the first thing that tripped me up. If you are in a different database, you can go to the big 3 dots here. Let me move me out of the way here and scroll down to databases. It'll show you all of yours. You can copy one. That's what I did. I copied an old one, so I didn't have to start from scratch. And you can make changes in here too. Like if your columns are in the wrong place, configure columns. You can actually drag them and move them around, delete them. You can rename them in the actual column. That just makes it disappear. Okay, so make sure you're checking out these over here. You can configure your filters, go to your table settings, things like that for its name and stuff like that. And that's where you find your other databases. But now if I come over, it's kind of on the edge. Let me move it here. There we go. So the smaller plus sign is where I click the plus sign and add a new column. Let me expand it just so we're seeing it here, right? So I can click add a column, and then this is where you need to tell it what kind of thing it's going to be. So if it's the ISBN, you need to tell it it's going to be a number. The date is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but to be able to sort it from the date, you do have to choose date. And then when you go to type in there, it'll tell you the format that you need to type in the date. So it's the year dash month dash day, and you don't even have to do the rest of that. So if I want it to say November 2nd, 1993, I type in 1993 dash 11 dash 2, and that should work. And now when I sort it, let me show you in the one that actually has dates. When I come here and sort, I can sort earliest first, or not sort that column, sort by latest first, okay? So that's how you are able to sort that. You have to set the columns up to be the right thing. If it's just like genre, author, title, those you just choose the text or multiple choice. Okay, so you're going to be choosing text or multiple choice, number or stats or dates. For the client one, you might be using checkboxes, right? Because some of the clients requested that they had checkboxes in their databases. Okay, so this is one place where it is not plagiarism to move data around. That is a necessary part of data entry, is moving it around. So once I get the column for each one of these, then I'm going to highlight this, right click and copy, or do Control C, and then I came and clicked in my ISBN, Control V, right? So now I am, oh, whoops, wrong book. Make sure you have them go with the right books. I already put it there, but I can edit it, Control V, right? So I am going to paste all that information in there, add the 2 books that I wanted to add. I think it is still filtered. That's why I'm not seeing it the way that I had them added. You can, along the bottom here, you can just go back to default sort order and see that'll just put it. You can even do the like by ID and do highest first, lowest first. You don't need the ID numbers. I had those in there from before. Okay, so you're going to add all of that. To add 2 books, you can just look them up on the internet. Amazon will have that information. You could just look up, ISBN for, a favorite book and add that information. So that's step 2, add your own data. And now you're going to be taking screenshots along the way. So make sure that you watch the video that I shared in Ms. Seward Helps on how all the different ways to take a screenshot in a Chromebook. So make sure you pay attention to when it says to screenshot, right? So we're just creating it first and add the 2 books, then screenshot the database. Okay, now that you're going to submit that as part of it. Then you're going to complete the following analysis, right? So I'm not going to read all these steps to you, so they're in there. Filter your results so that only young adult fiction books are displayed. So we know the young adult fiction is in the genre. So we're going to come over to genre. I'm going to show you how to filter right here. Click here and choose filter, right? We don't just want to sort them alphabetically. We want to filter them. We want to get rid of some of them so we're only seeing some. And you could just add one of the words. So I'm going to add the word young to that because it said young adult fiction. Add filter, and boom, now I can see the books that are just young adult fiction. You'll screenshot that. You can reset the filters. You can click on, actually the best way to reset the filter is the way that I showed you before. Just set the default, back to default filters. There we go. Okay, so you'll go through these, taking screenshots as you go, filtering and sorting in different ways. Remember, you can filter and sort all through. Sorting is there, filtering is right there. If for some reason it doesn't work, like you typed in the dates as text, it will not filter them from oldest or latest, earliest or latest, because it doesn't know the dates. So you have to make sure that you enter that one as dates and did the format like I showed you. Okay, then there's some questions to answer. Part B, you're going to choose a client and make a new database. So you can even come back here, click the new database right here, give it a name. You could name it after the client, right? So you're going to interpret the client's needs. Maybe I'm just going to add this one, client, and create a database based on this is all you've been given about them. And you're going to read that paragraph and use this data to figure out what kind of database they need. Okay, so there's information. You're just going to choose one. You don't have to do all of them. Okay, and then the last one is file types. Make sure you're reading these directions closely because so these 1 and 2, you're going to write a paragraph at the beginning of Alex's survey, explaining, right? Please help by explaining what a file type is, what the different kinds are, and what content they hold. And then you are going to fill in this chart. Okay, so if Braden uses docx's, you learned about file types in the lessons. So then, right, the text, the file content is text and images. Dondrea uses PNGs. We know that that's an image type software. And then on the last column, sorry, these look better here. I can expand them. There we go. So sometimes you might want to expand those back out. Uh-oh, it jumped to a different part. Whoa, here we go. All right, so the file content, and then you're going to fill in the software recommendation. All right, it's okay if you need to look those up and do a little bit of research. That's fine. And then at the end, it tells you everything you're going to submit. So make sure when you submit that those are all in there. If you need some additional assistance with that Obvibase program, let me know. Come to Zoom office hours or class time. We got this.